Isn't it a fantasy that your older self comes back to you and shares with you all the gems of life, making your life 100 times easier in the process? That is what I am here to do for you. I was a backbencher. I was the backbencher throughout my school life. And today, I'm living a reality that most of you would dream to live. I am here to share my 2 cents with you. It's up to you how much benefit you derive from this. 2 people could read the same book, and one goes on to become one of the most successful men in the world, and he attributes all his success to this one book. And the other, he goes on to live his life just like he would have if he hadn't even read the book in the first place. It's up to you to decide which of these guys you want to be. Okay, I'm gonna guess a few things about you. You're one of the cool guys of your class, or at least you aspire to be. You're not serious about anything in life. You're taking it easy, you're taking it one day at a time. You fuck around a lot in class. You have fun with your friends, you trouble the teachers, all of it. Let's be honest, you're not really a source of pride for your parents. You don't give a fuck about your grades, you think school is just a waste of time. And you think the most embarrassing thing to do in life is to try. I hope, I wish that you listen to me, man. If you don't mind, can we please talk serious for a bit now? I know you always bail the moment things get serious. I know you avoid thinking about the F word at all costs. But can we please talk about this F word for a bit? Of course, the F word I am talking about is future. You've got to think about it at some point, man. Not thinking about it won't make it come any slower. Why are you so scared of... You don't even realize that you're scared of it, do you? Because you've never let yourself even think about it in the first place. You subconsciously believe that the future isn't going to be good for you. Of course, you believe that. Everyone tells you these horror stories of what will happen if you don't get good grades. And you don't get good grades. So no matter how strongly you believe, no matter how much you try to convince yourself that school doesn't matter, that grades don't matter, you internally dread those horror stories coming true. And that is why you never let yourself think about the future, which just makes things worse because now you're living in denial. Welcome to your therapy session. Listen, if we're ever going to do anything about it, we need to talk about it, right? We need to at least think about it. So what are you thinking about your future? Don't give me the response you give to everybody of, oh, I'm not tying myself down to anything, I'm leaving my options open, I'm exploring. Here's a life lesson for you. A standing car is never going to reach anywhere. You gotta start the car first, you gotta get moving first, and then you can steer it wherever you want. We need a plan. Never think to yourself that you're exploring again. Pick something, goddammit. Take a guess. Fucking toss a coin if that's what it takes, but pick something and get moving. We can adjust as much as we want later along the way, but there's no point in moving the steering wheel around if the car isn't moving. I'm going to share with you a fact that you've rejected all of your life. In fact, let me first share with you the story of the moment of my moment of realization. I remember when I graduated, I had, of course, been the backbencher all my life. I'd been that guy who always got terrible grades. And so I remember when I graduated, I remember having this thought, having this realization that now the toppers that I knew were going to be just as clueless as me walking into the work environment. We would both be starting at ground zero. We would both finally be at a level playing field with no idea how the real world worked, and we would both figure it out along the way. This made me really happy, needless to say, and I was determined to prove that my mark sheet didn't determine my worth. I was determined to compensate for my lack of grades all of my life. This was the motivation and drive and passion that I started my first internship with. And I remember just about a month in, I was done. I couldn't anymore. I mean, I could very easily be just another average employee, but I couldn't get myself to go over and beyond anymore. I couldn't excel at work anymore. It was exhausting. It was more than I was capable of. I remember then talking to my friends who used to be in a similar position back in college, who had never scored good grades themselves, and they all were in a very similar position. I remember then talking to my topper friends and realizing that they had a much easier, or significantly, or massively easier time navigating the workplace. It was at that moment that I realized that these people who had given it their all throughout school and college, these people who had picked this challenge for themselves and decided to excel at it and actually excelled at it, in that pursuit, in that process of excelling at that challenge, they had developed themselves into men better than the likes of men like me. And that is the fact that I want to share with you. That is the fact that you've been rejecting all of your life. Your class topper, he is a better man than you. I don't care if he's fat or awkward or a fucking nerd, he is a better man than you. And I'm not just talking about getting good marks. By deciding to do well in school and by getting good grades, he's picked a challenge for himself. While most people shy away from competition, be honest, you do as well, he's accepted that he's in competition with everyone he knows. He's found his purpose. He's disciplined himself. He's learned to control the stress and anxiety. And finally, and most importantly, he's succeeded. He picked a difficult long-term challenge for himself. He accepted the competition and finally he beat them all. He is much more likely to succeed in life than you. Not because he's getting the marks, but because he's developed himself into a better man than you. He'll face any situation, any circumstance better than you. It's basically the difference between someone who's gone to the gym for 15 years of his life, 12 years of schooling plus 3 years of college, right? So that it's basically the difference between someone who's gone to the gym for 15 years of his life versus someone who hasn't, someone who's never stepped foot into the gym. And that is why I ask you to pick a challenge as well. The pick something, the take a guess that I said earlier, I would 100% recommend that you pick doing well in school, that you pick getting good grades as your challenge. Not because the grades will do anything for you, not because any of that. We're not getting into those debates. I ask you to pick school as your challenge simply because it's the easiest, most convenient way of making yourself go through the discomfort and as a result, making yourself into a better man. You could go for something else if you really want to. Maybe you're really passionate about coding or video editing or Photoshop or something. You could pick that as your challenge, but you will still have to keep going to school for like 8 to 9 hours a day, right? For more than half the time that you're awake, you'll have this pre-commitment of yours, and your parents will push you to do well in school. Everyone you know will push you to do well in school. So you could do that, but I again would really recommend that you see you're already choosing to do something difficult, which is good because it will give you that challenge which you'll conquer and in the process become a better, stronger, more capable, more confident version of yourself. But I would really recommend to not make it even harder for yourself by choosing to neglect school and pick something else as your purpose. But again, what matters most is that you pick something, is that you have a challenge in your life. So if you find that you really just can't be bothered with school, you really cannot, you're incapable of picking school as a challenge. If you find that to be the case, then just pick something else. But don't use that as an excuse to give up challenges and give up responsibilities and just become a sorry, sad version of yourself. Pick a challenge that's beyond your capability. And in trying to achieve it, you will transform yourself into the kind of man you want to become. If you don't, leaving school and college and entering the real world will feel like entering the gym for the first time as a skinny, fat little boy who can barely lift a 15 kg dumbbell off the rack. But right beside you is a man who's been at it for 15 years of his life. A man who's beside you benching 100 kgs. So pick a challenge, boys, and make your dreams a reality one day at a time. I will see you in the next one. Okay, before we end this, just one more thing. If you are one of the backbenchers, if this entire video has basically felt like a one-on-one therapy session for you, it's because you are very much like my younger self. And one of the most frequent, one of the most common dreams that I have today is that I meet my younger self from like 5-6 years ago. And I know that I have a very limited time with him, so for hours and hours I just go on and on and on, sharing with him every little detail, every little bit of everything that I've learned over the past few years. Well, I don't know if that will ever be possible, but what I am about to tell you is the closest thing to it that there is. For a limited time, I have discounted my mentorship program by 75%. I am charging, I'll be honest with you, I'm charging the lowest amount that I'm allowed to even charge on Fiverr. That's $5, about 400 rupees, at less than the cost of one medium pizza. What you get in return is that I take you under my wing for an entire week. What will you get out of this? Whatever you want out of your life. I will lay out a plan for you to make your wildest dreams a reality. I will determine what daily habits would help you. I will make your routine. I will make your habit tracker. I will keep you accountable. I will basically remove all the guesswork, all the confusion from your mind and tell you exactly how to go about every hour of your day so that you make as much progress as possible while at the same time ensuring that you are able to stick to the routine in the long term. And as if all of that still wasn't enough, I'm offering you a free 30-minute call with myself. No strings attached, no commitment, no catch, no nothing. You hop onto a free call with me, you discuss with me what your problems are. I try my level best to help you out with it. If that's all you would like help with, well and good, I would be happy to have helped you out. But if you'd like my help with more things, you can go on to book my mentorship program. So go to the first link and message me for your free call right now.